Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Selling Weekly Lottos, weeks 31 and 32. Every week, I sell what's the equivalent of lottery tickets by using my cash and my shares to write options in the stock market called covered calls and cash secured puts. So all I'm really doing is I'm using my shares or my cash and I'm agreeing that I'll buy the shares or I'll sell the shares. That's it. But in the community of people who do this type of trading, when the purchaser has a low likelihood to win, we call those lottos. All right, so that's all I'm doing. Let's go ahead and check out the disclaimers really quick. We're just going to post them up. And then I'm hoping you read them. It's a good idea to read those, but we want to keep the intro short. So let's just move on. All right. This week, the winner is the Gambler. Oh man, the Gambler. Rare outright win by the Gambler. They won and I lost. All right, let's take a look at the positions. All right, the number one position. Boom. Google. 310 put. And I sold that for around 400, a little bit more than 400. I bought it back for around 40. Okay, that's about a $400 gain. All right. The second position, Bazam! Take two. Okay, these ones were a covered call, 260 covered call. Okay, I bought 200 shares at 257 each, and I sold the 260 calls for also around 400, a little bit more than 400. All right, and I was able to buy them back for $50 or so. Again, making it less than 400. So that week 31. I made about $800 in premium, but as you can see here, the shares, they fell lower than the amount I got in premium, so it's actually a loss. Okay, I actually lost about $400 there because the shares went down by about $800 and I only made $400 in the contract, so the total loss was actually $400. All right, and then in week 32, all right, let's take a look at that position. Oh yeah! All right, so this one was a 250 put, also for take two. All right, and this one you can see it just went straight down, way past. All right, so I agreed that I was going to buy these shares for 250 each, but I got paid around $200. So the average price was 248. But the shares went all the way down, to 240. So I'm actually considering that a $1,600 loss because I had to buy the shares at 248. When they went down to 240, 200 shares, I lost about $1,600 in unrealized gains, in unrealized losses. All right. Keep in mind, this is not an actual loss. Technically, on taxes, this isn't a loss. This is just me buying the shares. But I interpreted it as a $1,600 loss to show that this was a losing trade. All right. I lost $1,600 in value from that. All right. So a few really unfortunate things happened to me as far as theta goes and this type of strategy, some of the bad things that can happen. All right. The number one, Google. All right. Although it was a profit on the contract, Google went up so much that now I have to use more money to get the same amount of yield, the same profit as before. So just a few weeks ago, I was able to put $30,000 down and get $300 each week. But now I'm going to have to start putting $32,000 down and get about $200 to $300. All right. So that's decreasing my yield. All right. And then with take two for the covered calls, I talked to you about that before. The share price went down so much that it exceeded the losses in the share prices exceeded the amount that I got for the contracts. So that is also a loss. All right. And then the third thing, the worst probably, is the puts. They went down so much, it was a sizable unrealized loss. But worse is because the price went down so low, now I can't wheel the shares and just sell calls the next week that would be a profit if I sold the shares. So now I'm kind of like, I have to go to monthlies. I have to look at the 4-week contracts, and that's going to reduce the amount of yield I get every week, the amount of income that I make. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at the benchmarks and see what that looks like. All right, boom. All right, so the main thing I'm looking at here is this puts assigned. All right, this was only the 4th time, the 4th put out of 37 puts, unique puts that I've sold in the last 32 weeks. This is the only 4th time that this has happened. All right, so you know, you could be down in the dumps about losing, but look at long term. This really doesn't happen that often, but it is bound to happen at some points in time. All right, and then even though this loss in the last 2 weeks looks kind of big, as far as the total results, it's actually everything's staying within line. It's I got 1%. More than 1% average weekly yield for my total results so far, and things aren't looking too bad. It's not the end of the world. All right, so yeah. I mean, the main concern here is, am I gonna wait for a bounce, or should I just immediately sell calls? Yeah, just I haven't decided yet, but it's a good thing that I'm able to show this what could go wrong with this strategy, and there's nothing much I can do now. I took assignment of the shares, and it's done. So all I can do is move on and try my best. So that's pretty much it for the week, guys. I'm just gonna keep it pretty short from here on forward. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments, or got any criticism or anything you want to say. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Peace.